Hello everyone and welcome to part 4 of what if Izuku Midoriya had an Anti-Quirk Sword, like Asta from Black Clover, but adapted to the MHA universe. If you haven't seen the previous parts, there will be a link in the description below and the annotation above. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you enjoy the video, please, Detroit, smash that like button. The next day of school, when Midoriya and the other students arrive, they are ambushed by the press, asking them how it's like to study under All Might. Midoriya, when he's asked the question, says, "It's a dream come true. He's just as good at a teacher as he is a hero. He's just like on TV, and I'm very lucky to have him as my teacher." Midoriya then goes into the school campus where the press can't follow. Midoriya goes to class where Aizawa says, "I watched the footage from yesterday. Good job, everyone. Bakugo, you have great potential and are very talented. Don't whine about your defeat." Anyway, onto other business. The class needs a class representative. Everyone in class gets very excited and proceeds to proposes themselves as class rep. Ida proposes a system where everyone has one vote. He asks Aizawa, "This is the most logical solution, right, sir?" Aizawa gets in his sleeping bag and says, "As long as you have it done by the end of the period, I don't care what you do," before going to sleep on the ground. The class proceeds to use Ida's idea to select the class rep. Midoriya, with 4 votes, gets the number 1 spot, with Yaoyorozu second with 4 votes. In this version of events, Midoriya also gets Kirishima's vote, as Kirishima thought Midoriya was very manly in his fight. At the end of the hour, Aizawa gets up and says, "Okay, so Midoriya is the class rep and Yaoyorozu is our vice rep." The period ends and everyone goes to lunch. Midoriya is about to join his friends when Aizawa says, "Midoriya, mind staying for a couple minutes?" Kaminari hears this and says, "Oh, you're in trouble," and leaves. Uraka and Ida say they will save him a seat. Aizawa tells Midoriya, "I saw the footage, Midoriya. Your sword seems to block people's quirks, just like my quirk. Would you be interested in some extra training after class?" Midoriya, having the opinion that he has a lot of catching up to do if he's going to be as good as everyone else, says, "Yes, that would be great, Mr. Aizawa." Aizawa says, "Okay, meet me later after school so we can start training." Midoriya then goes to lunch with his friends. While having lunch, an alarm sounds. The students run to the exit, having a mass panic. Ida gets pushed to the wall and sees the press has made it onto the campus, triggering the alarm. Ida asks Uraka to make him float so that he can tell the rest of the people what's happening. Ida stops above the door and, like in the anime, calms everyone down. Everyone then calms down. Later in class, Midoriya offers the class rep spot to Ida, seeing as, although Midoriya is very confident in this version of events, believing in himself a lot more, he does think Ida is a better fit for the job. Everyone except Yaoyorozu agrees with the idea, and Yaoyorozu whispers to herself, "But I had 2 more votes than him." Later after school, Midoriya goes to train a bit with Mr. Aizawa. He kind of teaches him a bit of the binding cloth, since it's a useful quirk and useful tool and whatnot, and a couple other things. After school, the next day, before school starts, All Might goes around taking down some villains, exhausting his time limit. Later in the day, Aizawa announces that they will be doing hero fundamental studies with another colleague in another facility. So they take a bus. Like on the way, they kind of have little banter between them, like in the anime, but a bit different. But yeah. The students arrive on the unforeseen simulation joint and meet number 13. There she welcomes all the students and explains what the facility is and what it's used for to them. As they're walking through the entrance, they reach the stairs when a portal in the middle of the facility opens, and a man with a hand covering his face and with a lot of other hands throughout his body steps out of the portal. More portals started to pop up, and villains started come out of them. Aizawa jumps in and says, 13. Protect the students as he jumps into action to take down the villains. The students in 13 start running to the exit, and as they do, their path is interrupted by Kurogiri, or Black Mist. Black Mist says, "Pardon the intrusion. It is a pleasure to meet you, young heroes. But we decided to invite ourselves to this haven of justice. And besides, isn't this the most fitting place for All Might, the symbol of peace, to take his last breath? I was told he would be here, but there must have been some change in plans that we could not have foreseen." That the comment about killing All Might awakens a lot of unease in the class, especially Midoriya, who's a huge fan of him. As Kurogiri speaks, 13 prepares to use her quirk, but before she can, 3 students jump in the way: Bakugo, Kirishima, and Midoriya, who is summoning his sword to attack. Bakugo throws an explosion at Kurogiri. Kirishima says, Did you think we were going to let you destroy this place without trying anything?" Kurogiri says, you live up to your school's reputation, but you should be more careful." Kurogiri then opens a portal, scattering most of the class throughout the facility. The only person who was caught in the portal in the mist portal thing that wasn't teleported was Midoriya, who was holding his sword. Midoriya stands there asking, "What did you do to them? What happened?" Kurogiri answers him, "Not to worry. I just sent them around the USJ, so my compatriots could deal with them. I am very surprised that you didn't go with them." 13 tries to use her quirk on Kurogiri, but he just makes a portal, having her suck herself up, taking her out of the fight. Midoriya gets in a battle-ready position with a proper stance and both hands grasping his sword. Midoriya yells at Ida, "Ida, I'm going to attack. When I do, you need to run as fast as you can. Get out of here and call for reinforcements." Ida questions Midoriya's request, "But that would be unbearable. I can't just unhonorable. I can't just let you leave you here alone to die at the hands of these villains." Midoriya says, "Doesn't matter. We can take them all on. We can't take them all on. We need help, so what I'm asking of you is to call the other heroes." Kurogiri interrupts, "Is it really the wisest choice to strategize in front of your enemy? And even so, you will never get past me." Midoriya attacks with the sword at Kurogiri. Kurogiri opens a portal, trying to teleport Midoriya away. Midoriya says, "That won't work on me," having realized what his sword actually does. "And as I thought, you're just hiding your body behind the mist. But you wouldn't have these plates if you didn't have a body under all the mist." Midoriya breaks the armor plating a bit, making a small cut, tiny, like a paper cut. At this point, Ida runs away to call the pros. Kurogiri tries to open a portal and get him away from the door, but his quirk won't activate. Midoriya hits Kurogiri over the head, knocking him out temporarily. Everyone says, "Midoriya, good job," especially 13. Midoriya says, "Thanks, but my job isn't done. You guys get out of here." Midoriya starts running to the center of the facility, like to the center plaza, to help Aizawa. 13 tries to stop him, but is too damaged to do so. The students start taking her towards the exit. Midoriya reaches the center of the USJ. This is just when Shigaraki attacks Aizawa. Midoriya jumps in, blocking Shigaraki's attack. Shigaraki wonders why the sword isn't decaying, because his hand is touching the sword, and jumps back. He says, "That's an interesting sword you got there." Midoriya then goes in for an attack, but Nomu jumps in on the way with a punch. He jumps in to block with his body and to punch Midoriya in the face. Midoriya sees the punch and moving his other arm kind of to block, and moves his arm to block. He thinks to himself, "Crap, I'm not fast enough to block that with my sword. If only I had a shield." Aizawa, who just took down some other small-time villains that are behind them, sees the attack and looks at Nomu, blocking some of his strength, but since Nomu has multiple quirks, it doesn't do so much. Nomu at high speed punches Midoriya, but instead of hitting him, he hits a shield that manifested around Midoriya's arm. But because of the force, even though Nomu's quirk was cancelled, on impact the punch still had a lot of force, so Midoriya is thrown to the side and hits his head on the ground, so he's knocked out. But before passing out, Midoriya thinks to himself, "A shield? Where did that come from?" Aizawa is again left alone to fend off these villains, and is attacked by Nomu. He's punched by Nomu in the stomach, throwing him back. Aizawa lands on his feet but falls a bit to his knees. Gets back up because he's in great pain, but he still has to fight through it. He's about to attack the Nomu when he hears, "Everything's okay now." Why? Because I am here. All Might jumps directly to the center plaza and helps Aizawa up a bit since Aizawa is reeling from the pain, and asks, "Are you okay, Eraser?" Aizawa answers him while coughing up a bit of blood. "Fine, All Might. As long as you take down those villains, I'll be fine." All Might says while taking off his tie, "It's lucky that I run into young Ida on my way here. The other pros are gonna arrive soon. I'm just the advanced team." Shigaraki panics a bit and says, "Nomu, take him down." All Might goes for it and goes ham on Nomu, realizing he can't take realize Nomu can take the hit. As All Might is attacking, Shigaraki starts gloating about all the quirks Nomu has. At this point, Todoroki and Bakugo and Kirishima arrive. Todoroki freezes Nomu up, like kind of weakening him, and creates a wall between Shigaraki and the Nomu and All Might because he sees that Todoroki's gonna he says that Shigaraki's gonna interfere. Shigaraki asks, "Where's Kurogiri when you need him?" Nomu on the other side of the ice starts attacking. Like All Might and All Might thinks to himself, "He said his quirk was shock absorption, not shock negation. That means if I hit him hard enough, I can take him down." All Might uses all he's got behind 300 mighty punches, throwing Nomu into the sky and breaking the ice that was around him with the shockwave. The air pressure creates waves that kind of wake up Kurogiri. The wind wakes up Kurogiri. He opens a portal under himself and another one next to Shigaraki, saying, "I think it's time for us to retreat, Tomura Shigaraki." Shigaraki did take some ice and explosion damage, so he does have some wounds, but they're not as bad as in the anime. The rest of the pro heroes arrive and take care of the small villains. After the events are over, 3 teachers and 3 students are taken to the infirmary because of the damages. The students are Midoriya, who wakes up with a concussion, and Tsuyu and Mineta, who were just bitten and attacked by the water villains. The teachers are obviously 13, All Might, and Eraserhead, who All Might kind of gave it all he had, so he just needs to rest. They go to the infirmary and are fine. The only one who needs surgery is 13 in this version of events, since Aizawa didn't take that much damage thanks to Midoriya. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Make sure to leave any suggestions you have for this or any other series in the comments. And hey, you can check other videos in my channel too if you want. They're honestly pretty good, and I wish they get more views. Well, until next time, have a nice day, everyone. Bye!